What's going on, beautiful people of YouTube? It's Renebean, and welcome to the first episode of this season for live hunting. I am super excited to finally bring it to you. I know a lot of people have been waiting for it. Thank you for your patience. Make sure you share the video, turn your notifications back on, let everybody know that Renebean is back with the hunting. And here we are. I got some phenomenal pickups to show you, so sit back and relax. Let's shekel up. Alright everybody, here we are with a brand new year, a brand new season of hunting. I hope everybody out there has had some amazing last couple of months. Let me know in the comments down below what you people out there have found. I always love hearing about what's still being discovered out there today. So starting things off with our first pickup, this was through Facebook Marketplace. This person listed that they had a PlayStation 2 lot with a handful of pretty nice games, an HDD adapter for it, a good looking controller. He wanted $25 for it. I said, hey, if I drive out your way, would you take $20? He accepted, and here we are now. As you're going to see, it has some really nice games with it as well. So right on top, we got Mortal Kombat Deception, the premium pack. That alone covered the cost of this entire lot, so everything else is purely icing on the cake. A bunch of good games with it. There was a handful of Crash games, there was Crash Racing, there was Crash Bash, as well as, the HDD adapter you heard me talk about earlier. And what that is a Ethernet dial-up adapter that plugged into the back of the PlayStation 2 that allowed, things like LAN parties or early online capabilities. They used to be worth quite a bit more than they are now, but they are still worth picking up because you can get somewhere between 10 and 15 bucks for them. So for $20, this was most definitely a very nice pickup. If you're new to this series, at the end of the video I do a very quick rundown of everything that I picked up, because I know with this footage sometimes it's hard to see everything that I get. So for this next pickup right here, this was through a buddy of mine. He knows that I resell, he knows that I collect, and he always hits me up randomly when he finds some gaming stuff, and this is one of those occasions. He said that he had some Wii stuff. He was looking for about 40 bucks for it, I believe, is what we settled on. And as you can see, it's some pretty nice stuff here. We got a official Nintendo Power adapter for the Nintendo Switch. I always go for official adapters. I can't argue that more. Those are what sell. Those are what work best with original hardware. Never go generic if you can help it. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. Ignore the back of my vehicle. I know some people are going to be like, man, that's crazy nasty. But no one lives back there, at least not yet. There's a towel to wipe off wheels. What can you do? But as you can see, we got an official Nintendo Switch Pro controller. The joystick is slightly eat up, but still in pretty decent shape. It didn't hold a charge, but these things take a battery from the original 3DS, Wii U Pro controller. They're, you can get them fairly cheaply, and it's not a hard task to change them out at all. Also, you're going to see that this came with a case, and normally I advocate picking up cases if you can, yard sales and whatnot, but at least for this one, for the Nintendo Switch, it wasn't worth a damn thing. This thing was only worth like $8 or $9 brand new, but still nice. I'm actually keeping that for myself because I did not have a case to travel with. As you can see, we got Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Switch. That alone paid for everything in this lot, so everything else, again, is profit. He knew what I was doing with this stuff. There was very few things in here that I was going to keep. And lastly, in the lot, we got the Nintendo Switch Power Dock. Couple that with the power adapter. It's a good little bundle item. So for $40, pretty happy about this pickup. If you got friends out there, which of course I hope you do, let them know that you are interested in, anything gaming related, whatever it may be, whether it's resell or collecting. You'd be surprised on how many of them look out for you and let you know what they get. So here at this next pickup, you can see that there is some snow on the ground, and we're expected to get some snow next week. Our season is starting up. It's just at a slow crawl. Where I'm at, when it snows, people go absolutely bananas. It's not like where, people are at where they have constant snow. For here, everybody goes into complete defensive mode and are scared to come out. But as you can see, this was a very nice lot to pick up. These are 3 complete in-box Nintendo NES games, and as you can see, they are all 3 very nice titles. So this lot's kind of odd just for the fact that it's been up for a while on the Facebook Marketplace. I think it was listed for 5-6 hours before I sent him a message. I just overlooked it. He had it listed for $75, which, in itself is a pretty decent price if you know anything about complete in-box NES games for these titles right here. But since it's been up for as long as it has, I said, hey, would you, take $50? I'll meet you right now. And he accepted. And as you can see, we got Contra, Bubble Bobble, and finally for my collection, the box for Super Mario Brothers 2. Been looking for that thing for such a long time, and I finally got it. So I'll be able to sell the games and the boxes that I don't need, profit, and be able to keep that. So I'm very happy with this pickup. And it was kind of funny, remembering this pickup right here. This is one of those people that, they say, well, I looked everything up and these things are absolutely mint perfect, brand new. Obviously, they're not. They don't, really know anything about games. They know what they got. They know that they're worth money. That's why you're not getting these things for $5 a piece. You do run into those people occasionally, but, I always smile and say thank you and move along. So here we are with another pickup. I saw that this person posted a huge lot on Facebook Marketplace that there was just a bunch of random things, and in there I saw this PlayStation 3. This is a defective unit, and it's not the backwards compatible model that plays PlayStation 2 games, but I only paid $20 for this. She says it doesn't work. She says it cuts on and then cuts right back off. This is a common problem with PS3s, and I ain't going to say it's an easy fix, but it is fixable, one that I plan on doing here in the future. But for $20, I'm not risking my money at all on this, because not only am I getting the box, the manual and things it came with, but I'm also getting an official controller that works. So that's going to make majority of the cost that I spent on this back. So if you are someone who doesn't work on consoles, doesn't try to fix them or anything, you'd still be able to profit on this. And, if you needed a controller, you'd be able to keep that, the box, whatever it may be. But I always recommend to people, learn this stuff. It's not as hard as you think. There are 1,000 YouTube videos teaching you how to do everything you could when it comes to something like this. And fixing this console right here, if I can get it in working condition, I got a chance to make a tremendous amount of profit on it. Even selling it defective, I can make money, but for me, I'm the type of person that if it's broken, I'm at least going to give it an attempt. So to everybody out there who's never worked on a console, start off with something easy. Start off with like an NES, Sega Genesis, something like that. Work your way up, and you'll start finding that you can fix something that you never knew that you could. And when it comes to game hunting, you come across this stuff all the time. And why lose money when you don't have to? If you know how to fix it, make that money back. So here I am at one of my local retro gaming stores. They sell DVDs, a handful of things. And as a lot of my longtime viewers know, I don't like to show, retro stores if I can help it, just simply for the fact that, it's fish in a barrel. You're not really hunting. Everything's there, and you're usually paying at or above retail pricing when it comes to eBay pricing. But when I do show this footage, it's when I'm getting, amazing deals, or I'm getting something for free if I'm making games back. And this is one of those situations here. As you can see, they have a bunch of defective stuff. I always like going through this. You can find NES consoles for $5. If they can't get them to work, first or second try after, blowing the cartridge a few times, they put them in the defective lot. I always pick them up. I saw that N64 controller, and I would have picked it up. It had a very loose stick, but the cord on it was chopped up, and I didn't want to go through the hassle, but I think it was only listed at $3, which is not a bad price. I have a bunch of joysticks on hand, but with the cord being as it was, I left it behind. Also, you're going to see I'm checking out this PSP case. All this stuff that they have that just sits is stuff that you can resell fairly easily, and, they usually liquidate it at a very nice price. But if this PSP case held the actual console, I would have picked it up, but it only held the game, so I left it behind. So in this store, like a lot of retro stores, they individually price games. I mean, it's a common occurrence. I've never seen a retro store nowadays that has one set price. It's just not going to happen. So when this stuff sits for so long as it does, they will eventually throw it in a bin, a bucket, and they will say, buy however many, get them for this price. And in this particular instance, it was buy 5 games, get them for $10. That's a decent deal. That's $2. So what I like to do is I like to find things that I need for my collection, things that I'm looking for, and then I like to find an item that's going to cover the cost of everything that I pick up, because hell, I don't like spending money if I don't have to. I think that's how everybody is. So as you're going to see here, I come across 2 original Xbox games that I needed for the collection. For whatever reason, the game 13 has eluded me for so long. It's such a common game, but it's just one that I never came across, and I finally have it. So while still trying to find another 3 games to go with the 5 that I needed, I come across Peter Pan Return to Neverland for the PlayStation 1. It's not an expensive game. It's not one that's going to set you back or anything, but it's one that I needed for my collection, one that I've been looking for. And again, I got to find 5 games to equal out to that $10, and then I got to find something that's going to make the cost of all this right back. Next game you're going to see me pick up in this lot here is Galaga for the PlayStation 1. Sometimes you can get lucky in these boxes, find the occasional Dreamcast game, but typically it's going to be Wii, original Xbox, PlayStation, that sort of thing. but I always love looking through these things. I guarantee your retro store has something similar to this, to where it's stuff that they tried to sell individually that they couldn't, nobody wanted, and they dump them in this box. Next, you're going to see me pick up Wipeout for the PSP. Ever since I got it for VR, oh my goodness, have I been in love with that series. A phenomenal racing game. If you've never played any of them, I highly recommend picking them up. So now that I got my 5 games, I got to find something that's going to make the cost of that back. And moving over to this $1.99 rack, I was blown away to see that they had Shadowgate right in front of all things, still with a $19.99 price tag on there. I just assumed they made a mistake, but hell, I'm of course going to try. I'm not going to be that asshole that says, hey, this was over here, I demand that price, but I am going to ask. And you know what was really nice about it is it was $1.99 for whatever reason. I mean, the game works flawlessly, but I'm not going to argue that. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, hell, I got, enough room left over. Let's find something else that I need for the collection. I didn't find any N64 games that I needed. Unfortunately, I am trying to go for that full set. But moving down the rack here, I did come across Quicks for the Atari 5200. I don't have a lot of games for that system, and for $1.99, well, essentially for nothing, of course I'm going to pick it up. Don't be scared to go into a retro store and try to come out on top. It's not hard at all to do. You just got to have a little bit of patience and know-how. So for the final pickup right here, this one completely blew my mind, simply for the fact that this person messaged me out of the blue literally like a year after I dealt with them originally. And they messaged me and they said, hey, didn't I sell you a bunch of games and consoles? And I said, well, absolutely you did. And he says, well, I got all these, Super Nintendo games, NES games, and I figured, me and you could make a deal. So after he sent me a handful of pictures, from what I saw, I'm like, oh, this is a beautiful lot. Obviously, I want to pick it up. There's things that I need for the collection, as well as just a bunch of very nice titles that are, very easy flips. So I popped him the question. I said, how much do you want for everything? And that's when he said, I've been looking everything up. And I was like, son of a bitch. But it's a good thing, because he knows exactly what I do. He knows that I collect, and he knows that I resell. So he is not expecting me to pay anywhere near that, which is, obviously great for me. And the way that I explained it to him, I said, hey, you can get way more than this if you want to sell it, online. You do got to deal with fees. You got to deal with shipping. And I'm not the person that lies about that. I know people lie about that when they're telling people, they say, hey, if you want to sell this game that's worth $100 on eBay, you're only going to get $20 back. No, I'm very realistic with it on, what he could expect to get back. But I also told him, I was like, man, I got the money now. You don't have to deal with the headache, the hassle. You don't have to make an account, none of that. And he's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. That's why I want to deal with you. As you can see, oh, my goodness, these titles were beautiful. I asked this person how he came across all these games, because he didn't have them last time we met, obviously. And he says, well, where I'm at, when someone moves out, if they leave a bunch of stuff behind, he gets first dibs on that. Look at this. Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo. Absolutely phenomenal game. Yoshi's Island, again, these are all very excellent titles. So he's very lucky to have that ability to go into a house, someone that moves out, and just get everything that he can for free. It doesn't cost him anything. He's just got to do the cleaning of it, which I'm sure has its own headache associated with it. But he came up on this. The price that we settled on was $120. That is a very nice price to pick up for this lot, and it's a very nice price for him to get, considering it didn't cost him anything. And again, he knew exactly what I'm going to do with this. There's maybe 5-6 games out of this lot that I'm going to keep. Everything else I'm going to resell. For him, it's convenience. It's easy for him just to get the money now than having to deal with trying to sell everything locally, online. You go to a retro store, I highly doubt you would get anywhere near that price for this lot. So I was very happy to pick this up, and I was extremely grateful that he decided to message me back. And that's the thing, people, you got to be completely honest with people. You got to tell them your intentions if they ask. If someone's not going to ask at a yard sale, hey, what are you planning on doing with this? You don't have to tell them, if you're picking up a game that's worth $50 that you're picking up for $3, you're not obligated to say, well, I'm going to resell this, or I'm going to keep this game's worth more. But when someone asks, be honest with them. You'd be surprised on how far that goes. Hell, my honesty back then may have been the reason that he contacted me now. This was like I keep saying again, a year and a half ago. This is insane that someone would actually call me back or message me back and say, hey, I got all this stuff, but I thought of you first. That's how you build these relationships with people. And then I told him, since he's got this new gig of cleaning out, people's houses, whatever it may be, definitely hit me up. If he comes across anything else, I'm just building that connection for future buys. So for $120, as you're going to see in this final recap, oh my goodness, it was an amazing purchase. So that's it for this first episode of the year. I hope everybody out there has enjoyed it. Make sure you share this. Let people know that Renebean is back with the live pickups. Hopefully I'm going to have another one out next week or the week after. Again, I said we got some snow coming. May slow some things down, but the yard sales, flea market should start up here pretty soon. Very happy about that. But as always, everybody out there in this wonderful world, take care and enjoy the rest of your day.